Welcome back, everybody, to the Cognac Sessions. I'm your host, Dub City, the mayor, and I got my beautiful co-hosts in the building.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Pretty T.
Coming to you with another show today, man. Another episode about to close out the season. We got two more episodes. We got a special guest today in the building with him. Come to give us some educational uh, stuff about credit.
Yeah.
My words ain't big. I had to.
Financial literacy.
Yeah, financial literacy. That's what we're going to talk about today. Y'all welcome my guest, Mr. Tracy Beasley.
Greetings.
Man, we're glad you stopped by here with us today. Thank Tierra for bringing you through. And we're going to let you have the floor. First, I want to talk about, for its credit, you do a lot of credit consultations and stuff like that. For its credit, is credit important?
Credit is very important. Credit, as a black community, African Americans, your credit score is important because it helps you build your financial stability.
Right.
So, 800 credit score is equivalent to $1 million. Actually, you can buy more with an 800 credit score than you could $1 million.
Yeah.
Because you got so many different legs and avenues where you can borrow money to get into houses, to buy cars, business loans, and things like that with 800 credit score. So, yeah.
Man, I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Yep.
I did not either.
So if somebody offered me $1 million, they give me the choice between $1 million and 800 credit
I'm
score.
going to take my 800 credit score.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
that
yes.
$1 million. I ain't even gonna lie. I want
You
the
ain't gonna
million.
change that.
Nah, I fix my credit with the $1 million. Some of it.
So community, that's what happens when you grew up in the backwoods. of,
Man, people just want to see that money then. Like I know some people that got like they win the lottery and they'll wait on those installments instead of getting the cash payments, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, the thing about credit, you can actually do both. You don't have to choose. So you can have the million and you can have the 800.
But the 800 is more important. I can get access.
Yeah, because the way our economy is built is around the FICO score.
Oh, okay.
So you have to know how the game is played, so you can play the game efficiently in order to win at the game.
Yeah.
And so that comes with the credit.
so that's why you're here today to drop some of them gems to save some of our people.
Please.
I will.
Hey, 'cause I'm telling you, baby, our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And that could be knowledge in financial literacy, the lack of knowledge biblically.
Yeah.
So we do suffer. We
all
suffer
areas,
as a community. We suffer. So when we do have someone that could take us to the promised land, I think that we should sit back and listen and
It might
and
take a
apply.
little time for them to get them there, but I think more people are listening and trying to fix their credit now because they didn't teach us that coming out of high school about your credit.
Right.
Well, one thing I can say is people can sit around and tell you all day long till you blue in the face. But at the moment that you decide to apply what's being told to you is where your life changes.
Yeah.
So, again, we have this awesome individual here that does not mind dropping gems and sharing his knowledge on how to live off of credit.
Yeah.
And be happy. A lot of people you hear a lot of people say they're unhappy.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of the unhappiness comes from being broke. Living paycheck to paycheck.
That's probably got something to do with it.
No, it has a lot to do with
Yeah.
it. When your pocket's not right, your attitude not right. You move funny. You could be a low down. You could be a ruthless individual
Yeah.
to be around.
I used to didn't care about my credit. Like I was a person that lived day by day, just one day at a time or whatever. But now I see as I try to get stuff, finance like equipment for podcasting and stuff like that. Like I can't get it because my credit bad. I don't have like bad stuff on my credit. It's just I don't have any credit.
Right.
That's what's hurting me a lot.
Yeah. We can fix that. I started off in credit, helping people in the military have a certain security clearance. And in order to get a certain security clearance, you had to have a certain credit score.
Yeah.
And so in the industry, here in the civilian world, it matters because it matters. You get charged more for insurance. You get charged more for interest rates if you're buying a house or if you're buying a vehicle. Certain jobs you can't get in the financial industry with bad credit and stuff like that. So it definitely matters.
Yeah, because I got to get my credit right. How important is credit for you? Do you think they should be teaching it in school and in what grade?
Absolutely. I think, sometimes we want to put it off on the schools. We should be teaching it at home.
Right.
Our families ought to be formed around credit, and you really should start. My children all had bank accounts at the age of 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we start off early, showing them how to open up the bank accounts, putting them as letting them piggyback on our credit.
Right.
So when they get to a certain age, they can step out here and they can have credit. They can do the things that they want to do. And there's more to it than just credit. There's other things that we add to it. Like I was sharing the other day about the Coverdale account. A lot of people never heard of Coverdale.
Explain. You got to.
Well, Coverdale is a self-directed RA. And Coverdale, you can start it off for as little as $100 per account. And what you do, most people do, they put the $100 in there in the self-directed RA, and you can actually buy real estate. And as your real estate appreciate in the RA, it increases the value of that RA. Yeah. And then if you buy, say, like what we call subject to. So subject to an existing loan, where you lease out, you buy a piece of property and you lease that property out, and you pay the interest. The IRA actually paid a note, but you get something in residual coming back.
Okay.
That all goes back to the IRA, and so you can build up a multi-million-dollar IRA within no time, just on, just by playing it with real estate.
Yeah, it ain't that simple. You just don't put $100 in the bank and just it ain't that simple to build off of it. You actually buy.
You got to buy real estate.
Yeah. Nah, that's something I never knew.
So when you start off with this $100, like a time frame, right? Is there a thing as strategic investing or aggressive investing? How often do you need to invest into this account to be able to purchase this real estate?
As often as you want to. Let me give you an example. If I was to buy a property, say I was to go out here and buy a house, in a traditional model, I would have to put down 20% every time I went and bought that house.
Because you are an investor.
No, that's traditional method.
Okay.
As an investor, I don't have to pay 20%. So say you're in foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, and you need help getting out of that. So we pay what you're behind. The homeowner signs over that deed. It's called buying subject to. Once you have that deed, it's 2 notes in real estate. You got the loan, and then you got the deed. The bank doesn't care who pays the loan as long as it's being paid. Right. They're not going to stop the money coming through.
Right.
But you actually, the person who holds the deed actually owns that property. So when they sign over that deed to you, then you lease out that home for a certain period of time. You can be, you can finance somebody, say, for 2 or 3 years, and allow them to build their credit up in certain time point. They can buy that piece of real estate from you, and it just increases the value of that IRA if you do it within the IRA.
Yeah, that's a little too much for me. I got to take it one step at a time.
What you say, you got to be shown how to do it.
Yeah, because in order for me to buy real estate, my credit got to be at a certain point, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. So we're talking about 2 things. We're talking about real estate investing, and then we're talking about buying traditionally.
Okay.
Now, most people don't know this, but if you buy a home traditionally, all you need is a 580 credit score. Okay. You can get a FHA loan with they'll give you money towards your down payment. So instead of you paying 20%, you might pay 3.5%.
Okay.
That's FHA. That's traditional way. But as a real estate investor, I don't have to do that. I help people out of bad situations. Yeah. And so it's you have to know a little something about real estate. And that's that's what you got to learn.
You think that credit can help build what they call it, like generational wealth?
Oh, absolutely. It's the quickest way. Real estate is the one industry that people have started literally from dirt.
Right.
And became millionaires within no time. It's the oldest wealth building method aside from insurance and insurance policies there is.
Yeah.
Real estate has gotten a lot of people there a lot faster.
Yeah, I always thought insurance was the quickest way for us to get generational wealth.
Right.
Like, I don't want to think, God forbid, something happened to my mom.
Yeah.
But it's good to have insurance to,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
To cover the burial expense. Well, for me, okay.
Not to cover, but just to.
Right, but like even far as insurance is in place because the risk, right? The risk is you losing your life.
Right.
Okay, that is in place. That's to pay pay the family a substantial amount of money so they could take care of burial expenses, because the average household does not have any money set aside to cover their funeral costs.
Right.
So you have certain insurance policies that you can actually like pay into, and when you've paid so much, you can withdraw that
Yeah.
money back from that insurance policy. But the moment that you withdraw, go pay for your burial. If you know that you want to be buried traditionally, right, and
Yeah.
not cremated, go take care of your plot.
When you draw that money out,
Right. Go take care of your
casket.
yeah,
And
your
stuff like that.
ceremony, the whole ceremony. Because, and this is another thing that people don't understand is, before COVID, insurance was, I mean, to pay for a funeral, it ranged anywhere between 5 to 13 grand.
Right.
Okay. After COVID, it spiked. So to traditionally put somebody in the ground, it's almost $15,000 to
Damn.
have a traditional funeral. But if you go to your funeral home or to someone that's over a funeral home, and you sit them down and you tell them what you want, you can actually lock in at a rate to pay monthly, weekly, daily on your burial expense until that is taken care of, no matter how long. So if you go in today
Yeah.
and say, I want to set up a payment plan to take care of my final expenses, you will be locked in at that price. So if inflation takes place 2 to
You
3
don't
years
have to.
from now,
Yours
that
won't
doesn't
go up.
affect you,
Yeah.
and we gonna die. That's one
That's
thing
surely,
that's
yeah.
gonna happen. We're gonna die. So the fact that people don't,
Prepare.
well, people don't prepare, for one, you're paying bills, right? Daily bills that seem to be a necessity, but nobody said that your burial expense should be a necessity. That's a necessity.
Yeah, it's definitely a
You know what
necessity.
I'm saying? You will tax me on car insurance, but if I die in that car, Progressive is not finna pay my family.
Right.
So if we could sit aside, I mean, most average households are living paycheck to paycheck anyways, and they feel like, well, the company that I work for, I have a policy. If you go back and you look at that policy, that's a group policy.
Yeah.
Okay. And you better make sure that you've been with that company for 5 years in order for them to absolutely cover that.
So you got to be invested.
But they are your beneficiary,
Who? The company?
the company.
Yeah, you gonna make me go back and look at my.
Oh, yes, they your beneficiary. So they're going to get paid first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she going to have to go to them and say, well, where's the rest of the money? I need help, right? She's going to have to tell them that.
And they ain't got to give her nothing.
Not technically, because they took out a policy on you.
Oh.
That's not
okay.
your policy. If you walk away today, you don't reap those benefits.
But they will. If
They
you
will,
die.
exactly.
That's crazy.
But if you've done 5 years, you can go back and ask them, like, hey, you can get an individual policy, which now you can pay for your own individual policy at the same rate that the original group policy was. So it's no longer expensive anymore.
Okay.
And I'm not a firm believer of whole life policies. Those are not the
You
best.
don't like whole life? I thought whole life
Trash
was like
value.
the best.
Trash.
So term.
Term. Well, term is the best. Because the thing is, no matter what, you are locked in at this price with your insurance, with a whole life policy, right? When you paying into that policy, go back and get a statement to see what portion of that money went to your savings.
Yeah. Well, we started out talking about wealth building. That's why I brought it up. But
Yeah.
for another reason, it's probably for another podcast. But unless your name is Rothschild or
Right.
Rockefeller,
Right.
when they're born into the family, there's an insurance policy purchased on each child, and they invest in aggressively for a certain number of years. And when that child matures and becomes within age,
Uh-huh.
they start off life at a whole different level. And so, unless your name is Rothschild or Rockefeller,
Yeah.
you probably really can't do that. But speaking about term or whole life, it depends on what your financial goals are.
Okay.
Because term will pay you for a certain term. That
Right.
term may be 20, 25 years, whatever that term is, that's what it is. whole life, you can actually purchase that through for the entire life of the policy.
Okay.
So it really just depends on what your financial goals are.
Okay.
And that's individually.
Is one cheaper than the other? Like,
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily.
okay.
But there's so many different insurance policies. You
Right.
have variable life insurance. Again, you have whole life. You have term. It's all based on what you are intended to do, but it's really in place just in case if you die within that time frame.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I
But
always
you
thought like burial insurance was a scam
no, it's not. And a lot of people do think that.
because I know a person. They paid insurance all from 1985, $85 a month from 1985 all the way up to she died in 2015 or something like that, and her policy was only covered $2,000. I'm like that man, whoever sold you the policy, well, come and collect your money. Should have said, hey, you need to up your.
But check this out though. In this day and time, people cap off of other people's stupidity.
Yeah, but I don't think we as a people should do that.
We shouldn't.
You should tell
But
because it's not coming out of your pocket.
It's not, but that's how the world is operated. That's life. You know, people cap off of other stupidity.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be labeled as such, you have to go in kind of being educated. Just seek. You know what just seek. And you can seek it by reading. People don't want to read. So they expect that if I come in, I'm supposed to be truthful to you. I could be as truthful as possible, but if you still don't understand what's going on, at this point, I could sell you anything.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a rebuttal.
So I know to start off at least, far as the credit part, the kids need to get it first. Well, since you know, if you don't know, you can't tell them.
Yeah.
Right.
About it, but if you know, you should be able to at least teach your kids what you know a little bit, even if it's just a little bit about credit, and then maybe they can go somewhere else and get the full info on it. But I think that's what's been holding us back. They tell us to pull ourselves up by a bootstrap, but they didn't give us boots, so we have to. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's able to teach us, and I'm glad they teach, because a lot of people don't like sharing information.
Yep.
No, they don't, and why I don't know.
It's definitely a tender conversation that's not in terms of the minority households. It's not talked about a whole lot.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself why. You know, the systems were set up like that where we didn't necessarily learn it. So once we do learn it, we have to make sure that we do due diligence to go back and teach our children, our families, so they can start working on wealth building.
Yeah.
And be able to afford things and do things that we necessarily couldn't do.
Yeah. Then a lot of people, like I say, they live day by day.
Yeah.
They don't worry about, you know what I'm saying, until they die.
Yep.
You know, they don't
and
worry
still,
about it.
they not worried about it because they're dead. Because now that burden is on the immediate family, the oldest child, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, living day by day. I understand because I come from that. Living day by day, you don't worry about your credit.
Because you feel like if you got cash, then you could just pay for it, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to be in that position where you've taken all of your cash and you've spent it on, you valued something, so you spent all your cash. Right. That's what you don't want to do. So.
Yeah. So tell us something about the things you work on for as credit. I know it's a lot of things inside of working on credit, you know what I'm saying, that you have to do. Like if somebody come to you with needed help getting their credit back right, what they have to do on their end?
Well, you have to understand the credit model, and the credit model is based upon the Fair Isaac credit model, which we call FICA.
Yeah.
And so there's really 5 components, right? You have the length of credit, you have new credit, mixed credit, payment history, and utilization.
Right.
So you have to understand all of that in order and how that works in order for you to do it justice for your credit. Now, the 2 biggest portions of that is called payment history.
Right.
That's paying your bills on time.
Right.
And so when you're late, it knocks down your credit score. Let's say credit starts off at like I think it's 300 to 350 or something like that.
I haven't had a credit score that low.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
But so if you don't pay on time, you can lose like maybe potentially 60 to 100 points on your credit. It knocks it down just that fast.
Just
quickly.
One mispayment?
Yes.
And it makes up 35% of your total FICO score.
Oh.
And the next biggest portion of that is called utilization. So that's the amount of credit that you have available to you.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just use some solid numbers here. Let's just say you got $100 of available credit that's available to you. All of the financial literacy models in education out there tell you don't spend any more than 30% of that.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at it, 30% really won't do anything for you because it won't make you go up, it won't make you go down.
Right.
Your goal is to increase that credit score. So the closer you get to between 9% and 0%, I tell people don't carry a balance. So let's say you have a credit card, $100, and you spend, let's say, $50. So that's half
Right.
of your
Right.
credit. And let's say that bill is due on by the 15th, by the 15th of each month, right?
Right.
So what you really want to do is you want to be able to pay that the whole amount, just pay it off, because you don't want to carry over. If you carry any credit over into the next month, you got to pay interest on that.
Oh, okay.
And so why give them more money,
Right.
right?
Right.
So what you want to do, I teach people how to do the 15-3 hack. The 15-3 hack gives you credit for paying twice because the credit models can't differentiate between you paying one time or paying twice.
Right.
So if you have to pay, say like in the example I use, you spent $50 of that $100 credit available amount. Let's say you paid $25 15 days out before your statement date is due.
Right.
And then 3 days out before it's due, you go ahead and pay that other part. So it's going to give you credit for paying twice when you really only paid once because
right.
you paid your deal. But it's going to also help you increase a lot faster because you're not carrying over balance and you're not maxing out your credit score.
So what you're saying, I can get rewarded for paying early?
You get rewarded
Yes.
for paying early
Right.
and twice. Yeah.
So they don't do that now. That's just something you have to.
Some people do it. Some
Okay.
people understand credit enough in order to do that because
I do it.
Like I say,
Yeah.
you want your credit score to increase.
Right.
And so utilization is 30% of that FICO model.
Right. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So no Lexington Law, no
Scam.
Credit Karma.
Scam. Credit Karma just tells you, it gives you a guesstimation of your credit score, and it kind of gives you insight on how you should move to get to the next level. So Credit Karma, there's nothing wrong with Credit Karma. I think if you read over the app and you understand the information that's being given, it's a dummied down or watered down version. It just makes it easy. It simplifies it to the max. But
So it does work it does more than just tell you your credit score.
oh yeah, because it tells you how to do certain credit hacks on how to increase your credit score. It keeps up with how many times or how long you've made payments. Like I think now I'm up to like 365 payments, of paying my bills on time, and it tells me that.
Yeah.
So even with that helps that increases your credit score as well. I do the 15-3 rule. Someone else taught me that, but when I heard it directly from him and the way he broke it down, it really, really made sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, you just put it like this. You have the money, okay? You have the money, but you're not designed to spend that whole $600 right then and there.
Right.
So you put it on your card, but you got $300 in your pocket.
Yeah.
You take that $300 and you go ahead and you pay half of your bill.
Okay.
And then almost 3 to 5 days later, before the statement is generated, you clear the rest of that balance because guess what? You was already going to spend that money
Anyway,
you was
yeah.
going to spend that money.
Yeah.
The only difference is now you're using somebody else's money to leverage off of that. And that's the goal, is to use somebody else's money to acquire what you want.
Yeah.
Can
you get how hard is it to get an 800 credit score?
Very hard. So, here's the deal. We were talking about, what did y'all mention, Credit Karma?
Yeah,
Credit Karma, Sesame Street. That's an information tool. So it helps you see what's hitting your credit profile instantly.
Right.
And then it does give you some tips, but you only want to use it for a tool. In order to build an 800 credit score, you have to work the whole model. So you have to pay on time. You have to keep your utilization low. You can't have so many new accounts that fast.
Right.
Because you get hit for what they call inquiries. And so really you only need, I think the formula is every 6 months you can do one inquiry in order to keep your credit from getting dinged for too many inquiries, right? So you want to be able to work that part of it. You got to have a nice utilization of mixed credit and revolving credit as well.
Yeah.
So mixed credit is installment credit. That's like a car note, anything that you're making installment payments on. Revolving credit is anything that revolves, like a credit card. Like you have a certain amount, you pay down on that amount, and then that credit revolves and it keeps going. So you want to use that as your credit mix.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but you have to work the whole formula. Now, people with excellent credit, they have that excellent credit for a long time. So the length of your credit accounts and you paying on time, you keeping utilization low, it really starts somewhere around 10, 11 years. And so that helps you build toward that 800 faster.
Yeah. I don't know why would they punish you? Like, I hate going somewhere and get my credit ran, and then just so I can have something to get credit, you know, to work on my credit, and then they deny me, then they put that on my credit report.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's crazy that they punish your credit.
You know what's
like
crazy
that.
is you don't know that you can get that deleted because you didn't get the credit.
No, I'm talking about the inquiry, the hard inquiry or something like that.
Yeah. The thing to do, like most people, what I tell folk, like if you're looking for a credit card, right? You can do pre-approval. You can see, what your credit worthiness is because they're going to give you an approval right then and there.
Right.
And that's what they call a soft hit. If you do a soft hit, it doesn't count against your credit.
Okay.
Now, if they pull it and they actually go into your credit, that's a hard inquiry.
Yeah.
That's what hurt a lot of people. And so all credit card companies and banks, they have what they call pre-authorization or pre-approved credit. And just do that first.
Okay.
Because if you do that, that won't necessarily count against you. A lot of people don't know that they can do that first.
No, I didn't know. I just go in and apply for something.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Especially if you already know that it's not where it's where, you know what I'm saying, it wants to be.
Yeah.
Well, I tried the secure credit card. They still denied me.
Okay, how about this? Do you bank with a federal credit union?
No, I don't have a banking account, like just my name on it. I don't.
So we definitely need to obtain one of those.
I just hated banks because I don't feel like I should put my money in your bank. You won't even let me borrow none. Like I hated banks.
Yeah, it's called understanding the game. That's just how the financial institutions work. Really, the FICO score is a risk indicator, and what it does, it gives lenders a percentage of how often you pay on time or what your risk will be in terms of being able to miss a payment or something like that. And so that's a complicated model that we don't even know because that's done behind the scenes.
Yeah. Because I always thought like if I got the income, let me get that. Give me that truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I got the income, proven income.
Yeah.
Right.
But if your credit bad, they won't give you nothing.
They not.
And that's the first thing I seen here. When you come to Chattanooga, if you want to apply for, even if you renting, they run your credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But here's another thing that most people don't know. So your credit, the three major credit agencies, we're talking about Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, right? So these are the credit agencies that's their job is to make sure that what's on your credit report is actually reflecting accurately.
Right.
And I've never seen a credit report that's accurate. Even the stuff on there that you're paying on time, they have misinformation on there. But we don't bother that. We don't challenge that with the credit because it's already reporting well. So why should we?
Right.
Our goal, the Fair Credit Reporting Act says that you can go in and look at anything you want to, and you can challenge anything on your credit report. So what we do, we don't. If I take the position where I assume that something is inaccurate, and then I start disputing or challenging the credit based upon that inaccuracy, then the credit, the lenders can come back and they can correct the record.
Okay.
But if I take the position where I'm going in and I'm challenging things and see if they reported it right, there's 5 things that they have to, and this you can pull this up on the website, and all credit companies and lenders have to abide by this, but they seldom ever do, because once one credit company reports one thing on your credit, they're supposed to send it to the other 2 credit companies so those records can match.
Yeah.
But that hardly ever happens, so that's why you got misinformation on there. So when we go in and we start challenging the record based upon the accuracy of the reporting,
Right.
which you're by law able to do, that's where you get your success at, and being able to challenge different things on there and get those things updated or deleted or whatever your record is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different ways in which we can challenge it and get it either removed, get it corrected, or get it reporting accurately.
I saw something one time. It said once your loan has been sent to a collection agency, it doesn't belong to you anymore. Like, you don't have to pay that or something. And I know it probably was some misinformation, but like, it don't belong to you anymore. You don't owe that anymore. Is that true?
No, not necessarily, because you have something they call the date of the original loan. That's always going to stick with you, right?
Right.
But when they get that information, you have to understand that that's transmitted through electronic faxes,
Right.
through electronic means. A lot of different people are handling that information. So you can have, say you have a car loan, and that car loan is through ABC lender, right? ABC lender then reports to the 3 credit agencies. They're not going to report 3 different numbers,
Okay.
3 different origination dates, 3 different activity dates.
Right.
And they're not going to report it differently. So the credit companies are responsible for making sure it's accurate on there. And so once you see that those records are not matching up, you can go in and you can start challenging that.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've never seen one that's correct. And a lot of people don't know that.
That's why we always got, like, my Equifax score could say this and the other one could say that, when they're supposed to read the same, right?
Well, some companies don't report to all 3. You have
Okay.
some companies only report to 2, some may only report to 1, some
Right.
report to all 3. So it depends on who that lender is reporting to.
Okay.
So all things are not on every credit report.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me. Now it makes sense to me, but it didn't make sense. My credit was, I got 5 different scores. Yeah.
Right. Well,
scores.
3.
Yeah.
You
We
have
had 3
3
different scores. And I thought they all supposed to read the same.
I wish I had 5 different schools. Man.
Well, they ain't good schools, trust me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man. You want to tell them how they can find you or reach you, if they need credit help here in Chattanooga, anywhere they can call you.
Yeah.
If they need help with their credit, tell them where they can find you at and info.
So you can look me up by Googling Beasley and Associates, Financial and Credit Consultants. I'm on the internet. You can reach me that way. You just give me a call. Got a website, and we'll help you out.
They say you gotta Google me.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
can Google him.
You can't Google
Definitely.
me and nothing come up. We Google me.
Oh,
I tried it. So he
Listen.
important.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to get important.
Yeah, you are important. You surrounded around greatness.
Yeah, I'm glad I am now.
Yeah,
My
definitely.
credit score ain't shit. I mean, nothing.
That's okay, but welcome to Chattanooga, where we're going to get that credit score in order.
Yeah.
And that's,
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something.
Everything
we
my
can help you
mama
with.
name.
We can help you with that too, because
Right.
we got lenders that we work with
Yeah.
that can place accurate and good loans, lines of credit on you to get you started off with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to do the secured credit cards. It depends on your financial situation. I don't advocate for secured credit cards because most, especially when you get ready to buy a house,
Yeah.
they want to see, credit lines on there $20,000-$30,000, and how you handle that. Most people, when they buy secured credit, they only doing $200-$300, maybe $500, maybe $1,000.
Yeah.
It's a good start, but it's not going to get you to where you want to go. So the goal is to get lines of credit on your credit report, 10,000, 5,000, and you get 4 or 5 of those, and then you start working, paying on time, and doing
So when you say lines of credit, do you suggest, or when you say lines of credit, do you mean like trade lines as well?
Well, with trade lines is different. So you got trade lines we talk about when we do business credit. But trade lines and personal credit is something totally different, and it's frowned upon in the credit industry because what trade lines mean to most people is going to get somebody's good credit, having that open for a certain period of time and placing it on your account, but then it disappears after a certain time, and you're right back in the same situation. So that's something unethical, and that's something I wouldn't advise doing. When I say trade lines, I'm talking about going out and applying for credit in your name and being approved for that credit up to $5,000, $10,000, and things like that. So we help people do that.
Okay, because let's just say, for instance, say if I got a 500 credit score, how long working with your company would it take me to get to that 750? I mean, just about. I know it probably depends on me and some stuff that I have to do too. But what's like a ballpark?
So let's just say that credit is always reported in arrears. So it's always at least a month behind, because it takes a month for them to get the data reported to them and things of that nature. But I've had people actually have in the 400s, and after the first wave of challenges that we do, they credit actually increased by 120 points, by 100 points. So it's really specific to your credit, what's on your credit, and what you're doing to challenge that credit, and how you add other good credit trade lines on there.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Do you have a suggestion on people who have student loans on their credit?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, asking for a friend. Do you suggest like paying the full amount that is there, or negotiating with the student loan company?
Sally Mae.
Well, okay, screw them. They are not a thing. Fed loan, right? Let's talk about Fed loan. How would you go about, like, would you say for instance, I have a $33,000 student loan. Do you suggest that I pay the $33,000, or do you suggest that I call Fed loan and negotiate a payment and get that in writing, and then begin to make payments on the renegotiation?
It depends on how it's showing up. And student loans are tricky. So if it's showing up inaccurately and it's something that they are reporting that's inaccurate, we can get that fixed immediately. Now, in terms of if you're a default on your student loans, that's a totally different conversation.
Okay.
And it's different for everybody. So if it's defaulted, then you can negotiate with the servicing company, and then you can make a payment and arrange to make certain payments, and then have income payment like type negotiations where as you get paid, you're paying a certain percentage of what you get paid toward that student loan, and you want to keep that current and steady.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it really just depends on how it's showing up on your credit.
So what if you're not in default and you just have a student loan and you don't want to pay them, but you know you need to pay them?
Yeah, you gotta pay it. You know
So do you recommend a negotiation of a new price? Because I mean, majority of this stuff is interest. Like, it's just interest drawn. Like, what if you don't want to pay the interest? Like, is that a thing?
There's certain programs that's available to you, and they're all available through your servicer. I've had people that had multiple student loans in 11 and 12. You know, there's certain things you can consolidate that. You can get it rolled up into one. You can pay, a certain negotiated price on that. I got one young lady, she's only paying $5 a month because she can't afford it. And when she does that, she's paying basically the interest, that $6 or that $5 or whatever it is. She's paying that, but it's not, and it's showing up as she's paying on time.
Yeah.
And so those are all negotiations that you can do with the servicing company.
Okay.
But it depends on how it's displayed on your credit report, and then we go from there, because everybody's a little different.
Yeah.
Everybody's situation is a little different.
So do we need to send out mass letters to the White House and ask Joe Biden to do away with these student loans?
I thought they did forgiveness.
I got two that was dropped. I was closed, paid off by the government. Did you go to a historically black college? Because most historically black colleges, people who attended historically black colleges, their student loans have been wiped out. I had two that was wiped out.
Yeah, because I remember Trump gave money to the.
Yeah, those come through people giving endowments, and so they use that endowment money, and then they say, okay, we're going to put a certain dollar amount toward student loans to get them
Gotcha.
partially paid or fully paid or whatever
Right.
it is. But that's between the endowment that's set up and then that institution.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we're gonna take care of your student loans.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna get that.
It's only 33,000.
Oh. Oh. What did you finish school?
Yeah, I got 2 degrees.
I can't. What you say?
Do you guys show how to establish business?
Oh, yeah.
Business credit?
Yeah. So business credit and personal credit is something totally different. And what I teach people how to do, especially those people that's aspiring to be business owners, so we get them set up correctly and structured correctly, because you want that business entity to be separate from your personal industry, right? But a lot of people don't understand how to correctly set up business credit. So when we teach people how to do business credit, we teach them how to open up you get a paydex score. And how you get a paydex score is you apply for a D&B number, and you get that D&B number. It becomes the Social Security number for that particular business.
Okay.
And then you have to start putting revolving credit accounts and installment credit accounts on that business and paying that on time, and then you go from there. So you establish the business pretty much just like you do the personal,
Right.
but the avenue to get there is a little different.
So my business credit can be better than my personal credit.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And what I do is I teach people how to use their business credit, because you got more write-offs as long as you do it legally and ethically.
Right.
You can use your business credit for a lot of things that you don't even necessarily need your personal credit for. So leave that alone, let that grow and mature,
Right.
and then use your business account. Because if you default on your business account, a lot of people don't know this, but if it's an account that was open to Transaction Act business, then they can't put it on your personal.
Okay. Yeah. I might be trying to do this the wrong way. I might need to.
Yeah, go ahead and call Dr. Beasley. He got you.
Yeah.
Yes, he in there.
Yeah. I've been doing it wrong the whole time.
Hey,
Let's
listen.
forget about my personal credit. I need to get a business credit.
Well, get both of them fixed up.
Yeah, it's probably easier to get the business credit going.
Definitely, because I can't wait to purchase my first home with my business credit.
Hey, can you get child support off credit?
Yeah, you actually can.
It's possible.
Yeah, I do it almost monthly.
Man, they told me that wasn't possible at
No,
all.
that's a lie.
You can.
That's a lie.
But you got arrears that I don't know if it go to your credit though.
Well, it may not show up on your credit profile, but it's maintained in these other agencies a lot of people don't know about. There's like 16 different credit agencies that collect information on you.
Yeah.
So while I may not report on Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian, it's going to report on Novus, LexisNexis, or one of those other credit agencies that most people don't even know how to deal with. But they're a big part of why your credit is the way it is, because they actually sell the information to people who's actually trying to extend your credit.
Right.
So we got to deal with the source at the source.
Yeah.
And we can get it attacked there. And so there's different techniques that we use in order to get it alleviated there.
Man, you made me feel like I can get to 800 within a year.
You probably can.
We gonna try it.
Listen.
Gonna try it.
Easy, nothing is on there, but nothing literally but a hospital bill.
Let me tell them
Okay.
my business on live like that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
No,
but-
that can come off.
Yeah, but it's basically a lot of hospital bills.
But if we just want to talk about, like, if anybody wanted to know, like, oh, who has he helped? I'm a recipient right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's going good for you.
Great.
Except the student loans.
No, we working on that now.
Yeah.
I was just asking the question for other people who have student loans.
It'd be a lot of people trying to help people fix their credit, and their credit messed up.
No,
That's
I mean,
what
you got to understand, they are into selling you a service. So it goes back to capping off of capping. What is capping? Taking advantage of, basically, what you don't know.
and their credit messed up.
It doesn't matter. But what you don't know,
Having
hurting you.
Having bad credit is big business,
Yeah.
because they make a whole lot of money based upon interest rates and stuff like that. And so if you want to get a good interest rate, you have to get that credit score at a certain number in order to get good. And actually, you only need a 780. A lot of people say 800, but you get the same interest rates at a 780 that you would at 800.
okay, so I'm 50 points away from that score. What can we do today to get me to that 780?
Is a 780 different from a 750?
Yes.
It is.
750 is considered good. 780 is considered excellent.
That, 750 is considered good.
Yeah, very good.
Man, I got some horrible credit. Mine must say horrible.
No, I mean it can.
Man,
750 is considered very good.
I always thought that was like the best. Like, well, for a long time, I thought 750. That's the perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it go up to 800.
Yeah, 800. It goes up to 800.
That's the highest you can go.
Right.
So when you born, you start off with a 350. Not born, but
So you got three. You got, let's say for argument's sake, let's say you got 350 on one end. You got 800 on the other end. So the difference between 800 and 350 is what, 450?
yeah,
And so we know, based upon the science and based upon the FICO model, that if we do certain things, we can get a certain result.
right.
So being able to do those things consistently over a period of time is what's going to get you there.
Okay then.
Question: I let my kids piggyback off of my credit, but their credit is better than mine now. How is that?
Simply because they're probably piggybacking off of an account that you pay on time, that you've had for a long period of time, and they're authorized users on there. And so they may not have the other things on their credit that you
got
have on yours.
Right.
And so you actually give them good, and that's a good thing. So you want your kids to start off at a level better than you actually. You want to put them in a good situation.
Yeah.
So
My score dropped 2 points.
yeah, and doing the challenge in the credit, it fluctuates.
Yeah.
It goes up and it goes down, but we base what we do off the last waiver letters that we sent out,
Right.
and based upon what we send them and what we're asking them to look at and check out, they have to respond to us within a certain time.
If not,
If they don't respond to us in a certain time, then we escalate the what I call them is a tax. But we escalate what we're asking them to do, and then it's kind of like being a fly or a gnat.
yeah.
You just keep picking at them. A lot of people don't go back and forth with the credit agencies and the lenders because they don't know how to do it.
Right. Right.
And so
right.
for the people that's going to be persistent, they're going to eventually get the result that they want to get just by bugging them.
Okay.
And trust me, they'll rather deal with somebody else who don't know than to deal with somebody who does know.
Right.
Right.
Because you're going to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tracy, my daughter didn't have no credit when she was piggybacking off me. They let her buy a brand new car, no money down. But I go to the car lot, I gotta make a down payment.
Yeah.
I don't get.
And she wasn't but 19.
She was
Yeah.
19. All they did was call me on the phone to make sure that I was who I was.
Yep.
And was it okay?
But that's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing, but I couldn't.
Yeah, but I'm a hater. I'm mad.
Don't be mad. You can't be mad at your own kids. Yeah.
I be proud of them.
They was like, well, she got a brand new car.
Yep.
No miles on it.
And it's a beginning for her. It's a prelude for her. So now she has to maintain it and keep it.
Yeah, she doing really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So she good. You just a great mama. You can't be. Listen, you just a great mama.
Brand new car, they gonna tell me I gotta make a down
I have a question. Why, when you close an account, that affects your credit score as well?
Because length of credit. And so when you close an account, that's an account that you're losing that's not counting toward the length of credit that you have. So you get credit based upon how long you've maintained that account in good status. So when you close the account, then you lose that account, then you could lose some points.
Can that come off of the credit, these closed accounts?
No, they basically stay on there for whatever, 17 years, depending on the state that you live in. But you're no longer getting credit for that
Yeah.
in order to help your credit score.
Student loans was closed, but I wanted them on.
So what you do, if somebody was to sign up under you that make monthly payments, or you have a platinum service, silver service, something like that.
Yeah, I stay away from the monthly stuff because a lot of people can't afford the monthly, and it becomes cumbersome. So what we do is I have a method whereby we challenge it based upon industry standards. It's called Metro 2. And so we use that, but it's pricey, but it's not as pricey as a person paying from month to
Every
month.
month.
It's kind of like buying a car. Car salesman tell you, what can you afford? Well, you might tell them 500, and you can pay that every month, but that interest is going to kick you in the butt, and it's actually going to be a whole lot more expensive.
Right.
So mine is seemingly expensive up front, but you don't have a monthly on there. And so we have 6 waves of challenges on there.
Yeah.
I'm usually able to do it within 2 or 3 different challenges.
Okay.
and that completes it, and you don't have to pay monthly right there.
Right. So you writing letters, when you talking about you send letters out, y'all actually writing letters and send them out.
I wish you was with me the other day when I had to send off. I think it was a total of nine packets,
Dang.
and each letter was between 1 to 4 to 1 to 7 pages worth of information.
I just said I'll come see Beasley.
You had to type it up.
Well, he has the templates and the documents
Oh,
to,
okay.
you know.
Oh, you mean working with Mr. Beasley?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna get my credit right.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming through, dropping gems. Hope everybody learned something today. If not, you say you can Google him. What's your website again?
Beasley and Associates.
Beasley and Associates.
Oh yes, Beasley and Associates.
We thank him for coming through for Cognac Sessions.
Yes.
Tierra, you got some final thoughts?
I have relocated Chattanooga, so we are back on Brainerd Road, 3459 Brainerd Road, Suite A. I'm located inside of D's Fine Cuts. Make sure you make an appointment because you do know that you cannot walk in. we are totally going under COVID standards, but we are more than welcome and grateful to render anybody a service as long as you book an appointment.
Wear your mask.
Definitely wear your mask.
Got any final thoughts from Mr. Tracy about credit?
Give me a call.
Tell him your number. Yeah, you never gave him your number though.
Actually, I have a 800
business
number. I have an 800 number.
Okay. Man, got an 800 number.
Yes,
You know, I've never seen a black.
My purse isn't up here because I was looking for it. I was already going to have it sitting down so I could put it in the camera so you guys could see what's going on. But
Yeah,
yes.
so 800 number is 888-588-2124. 888-588-2124.
Y'all make sure y'all call them, get your credit right. And we appreciate y'all stopping by.
They need some cards. Might as well just-
I already got called. Yeah, I'm working.
I'm
I'm about to work.
behind.
We're going to get this 150 up. I got the 150 credit score.
Okay, you don't have to.
Yeah, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in to the Cognac Sessions, and we'll holler at y'all next Thursday, man.
Peace.
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 Yay.